Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? And yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou prepares a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup runneth over. And surely goodness and mercy shall follow us all the days of our lives, and we shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. Amen. Assalamu alaikum. It's Monday. Welcome to Johnny's Bite. Poco a poco, April is coming to an end, and we thank the Lord for his mercies and his grace and his glory upon our lives. This morning, and you just saw one of the videos, maybe we'll play it again for you, because the Dumso situation is not getting funny any longer. And anybody who comes to tell you that the situation has improved either doesn't respect you, or doesn't think that you are wise, or thinks that you are otherwise. Anybody who comes to tell you that the situation has improved for whatever reason either thinks of you as a fool or thinks that you are not wise and doesn't respect you. Because as of yesterday, and I checked 4 days ago, before yesterday, and sometime last week, the Bostal Institute, where you people call Abofraboni, James Camp Prison in Accra, Roman Ridge, and you know that's a correctional center for children or young offenders, and also for some grown-ups who are just about wrapping up their sentences. And that is a security zone. And we make a lot of noise about security zones in this country when people want to demonstrate. We suddenly know where security zones are located. That is a security zone that is static. It is not moving. It has already been defined. Right there, you also have the prison officers training school, POTS. And the lights go off there. Where inmates are being held, the lights go off there. As of yesterday, the lights were off in a security zone. And it's not just there. You go to Kumasi, go to Kufredia, Takrady, all the installations, the lights go off. These are security zones. The lights are going off. If the lights are going off at security zones, how can anybody convince me that the situation has gotten any better? It's not funny anymore. And the daily insults that we receive, where people seem to suggest to us that, oh, it's okay, you are making a fuss out of it. And they say, oh, you endured it for 4 years, so this is not comparable to that and all. We endured it for 4 years. That's why we kicked them out and brought you in. What you are doing is even worse than what you complained about and what you rallied all of us to complain about. And everybody, and instead of giving us power, PURC and ECG are engaged in a public circus, a well-orchestrated public circus of a sort, insulting our intelligence. We have paid for power ahead. On our prepaid meters and our cards and our remotes or whatever it is, we have power on it. You have our money. You are not providing the power. Rather, you are interested in who has the right to surcharge and who doesn't have the right to do what. I don't get it. What we need is power. It's not your shenanigans. What we need is power. It's not your unnecessary turf war. What we need is power. It's not that, because when my business starts suffering as a barber, and you use barbers and hairdressers and welders and what have you to campaign. Today, have you gone back to those barbers? Have you gone back to those hairdressers? Have you gone back to those welders? Have you tried? Have you attempted going back to them? Anybody, I repeat, anybody who comes to tell you, wear suit and tie, African print, whatever, comes to tell you that the Dumso situation has improved, either thinks that you are a fool, or doesn't respect you, or thinks that, well, let's just say something to them and walk away. Anybody who comes to you to say that the situation has improved thinks that you are a fool, period. Nothing more, nothing less. We need to have a holistic solution to this thing and stop this piecemeal approach and talking down at people and talking. We need to stop it. I saw a video. The Ashanti Regional Chairman of the MPP, a very powerful individual, Chairman Wuntumi, he was talking about road contracts. For a minute, I thought that my ears were worrying me. I thought that my ears had become faulty. Listen to how the contract was awarded. Listen.
President me kono nyame nkwa nam ko you mini general secretary Justin yes from Pokudia and the to flag bearer aya Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia 2024-2025 president at the two name and the chief of staff and also chairman and the fa contractor bra and almost free minister of roads Honorable Asenso. Omo friend no apepepe and also and the satisfied dia chairman Neko Fijob mra. You drew Minister of Roads. You drew the fear 2 o'clock and a job. And I'm Neko Fijob. You drew the fear. You drew 2 a.m. no yeah Juma. Nasa Asenso yeah Juma and a job 2 a.m. and I'm Neko Fijob. I call yeah Anna. Ya je kwan no ede ma no
ahemachi no bi ada no
ahomachi a obi ada enti ahomachi no ana ofre finance minister ana so finance minister ayi me regional chairman ba se wadaruma yemwa no na akwan a ye yenye ana finance minister ye no say ma menchia chairman ana so people's chairman ye nyina chairman road minister no makasa enti kwan bia so da kwan no ye be ye enti echina move nko site no kwasem ne say ade echi ya pe na Kofijo bubuvu mfidie no de ba so.
That is Chairman Wuntumi. You saw how he described it. For those of you who don't understand Chi, said, well, a chairman came to him and then they went to the president and the vice president, the MPP's flag bearer, Dr. Bawumia. It was about the road contract. Then they were asked to go and see the roads minister, Asenso Boachi, former works and housing minister, the one Kojo Nkrumah took over from. And then they said, oh, let's give him the road contract. And then they called finance minister, and finance minister greeted him, and that's it. He has the road contract. So then you ask the question, where are the procurement laws? Because people are in court being prosecuted. Maslock, and we are all applauded it. Prosecuted for procedural and procurement issues. So where were the procurement laws on this occasion? And this goes all the way to the president. I shall protect the public purse. Comes down to the vice president. I will change the look of things. Comes down to the minister who swore an oath to protect the public purse and in our interest. To the finance minister who has refused to give financial clearance to many groups of individuals and professionals. I know contractors who have done their work, gone through the procurement process, have raised certificates, and for 6 years, those certificates, even though they have been discounted, are lying on the table. And Wakwata didn't sign any of them. He will smile with the people and still didn't sign. Now you know how some people get their contracts without even going through the procurement process, just by phone calls all the way to the presidency down. And they will be paid their monies because they are politically exposed, because they are party chairman. Chairman, all of us, that's our chairman. Chairman of the people. This is not what we were promised. We were promised a governance that will be watertight. A government that will have a certain standard and quality that we will look on and say, wow, this is our government. We are proud of it. Are you proud of your government? After hearing some of these things, do you ask yourself, are you proud of your government? Are you proud of your government? And it is business as usual. Take me to the Department of Parks and Gardens. There's a certificate of allocation dated 1952 or so. Yes. Last week I promised you that I'll talk to you about land grabbing. And there's a lot of land grabbing that is happening at cantonments alone. Land grabbing. The prison's headquarters you see there, you will see it no more very soon. The prison officers training school that you see, you may not see it anymore. Some of the official residences of officers, you will not see it anymore. The land grabbing that is happening is crazy. Put the thing up there.
Johnny's Vice.
It's crazy. Now, 2nd October 1952, this is the certificate of allocation to the Director of Agriculture. You can say the Minister of Agriculture. Of land statute at Cantonment, situate at Cantonment, Accra, in the Accra district of the Eastern Province of the Gold Coast Colony, required for horticultural nursery. It is there. Land Department, 1952. And we had to go into the archives to dig this. And you know me, when I say I'll dig. So this is how the land, the Department of Parks and Gardens came to be. Today we are told that the land has been given to a private developer. Come to me. And then I ask myself, where are the allodial owners of the land? The Ga people, who are the allodial owners of the land. If the land is no longer going to be used for the purpose for which it was acquired, and it has to be used for another purpose, it has to be first given to the allodial owners. So where are the allodial owners? Ene meji ni bi ni sadi nyekenye je ni bi kokomeni he hia akenye spon ya akenye wiemon ya ka kete pa akenye te ni bi ni hia nye wie taflache no ni he hia ni a kolonya shikpoje na baka o for redevelopment a kolonya shikpoje ake for redevelopment nye tasi ni nye nkwe ne gba ma no afio na kan ye ni nye tasi ni nye nkwe. And it has become the norm that, this was acquired by the state for this purpose. The state no longer wants to use it for a particular purpose. Okay, so we will give it to a private developer. Who is this private developer? How is he connected politically? Is he Ghanaian? Is he not Ghanaian? I don't know. But what I know is that at the last check, there were land guards that were brought, heavily built people who were brought there to the Department of Parks and Gardens to prevent the staff even from entering. They had to resist. Question you ask is there a cabinet decision that the Department of Parks and Gardens, the land, switchback road, switch such a prime area? NDPC is not far from it. The Russian embassy is not far. It's on a very prime road, prime area, within 300-meter radius with the Jubilee House. And Osajifo thought about it because he wanted us to have a green nation. He wanted us to have flowers and the fauna looking very, very nice. And all the work you see, the mowing and of the lawn and everything you see at the Jubilee House, Parliament, some of the ministries and the median of the road and the rest, is the Parks and Gardens people who do it. And they do it as their core mandate. The only thing that they get money from is from the seedlings that they nest and they put them there. People drive by and buy some of them and go and plant at home. And some private home services. So you ask the question, such an important institution that has been staffed for a very, very long time to make them look very inefficient. Now the land that they have, the land is being taken away from them. Put the notice up there, please. Put it up there.
Johnny's
This is dated the 18th of March, 2019. 18th of March, 2019. It's to the Honorable Attorney General and Minister of Justice. Request for advice, lease of land of Parks and Gardens Department by Lands Commission to Wuntrim Company Limited. And there's a new one, this in our scam that says he acquired portions of it from Wuntrim Company Limited. Danny Ike or Danny Ike. It says, we are respectfully requesting for your advice in respect of an agreement dated the 25th of July 2012, entered into by the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development and Akumbami and Associates Company Limited. The ministry purported to have entered into a public-private partnership agreement with Akumbami and Associates for the firm to, among others, resource the Department of Parks and Gardens, build offices, and protect its land at Midye. And that land has also been encroached upon dangerously. The ministry was to provide land at cantonments at the office of the Parks and Gardens for Akumbami and Associates. We noticed that the process of procurement for the agreement do not appear to have complied with the Procurement Act 2003, Act 663 as amended. The purported public-private partnership agreement does not appear to have been complied with, and there is no indication of approval from the cabinet as required by the PPP policy of 2011. Note, no cabinet approval then and now. As a result of the said PPP agreement, the Greater Accra Lands Commission gave 2.12 acres of the land of Parks and Gardens Department for residential purposes to Woodtrim Company Limited. The said lease, dated the 29th November 2016, purports to represent the premium for the PPP agreement on behalf of the Parks and Gardens Department. Indeed, the lease does not make any reference to any PPP agreement between the said parties, and the decision of the Lands Commission to cancel the lease will also enable us to terminate the PPP agreement with Akumbami and Associates, which has been implemented since November 2016 when the lease was registered. Find attached copies of the lease and the PPP agreement. We count very much on your cooperation, Obi Amwa, as Minister. There's another letter, show me. The land is being taken, and the speed with which these lands are being grabbed in the name of development, and they've given it to private developers. Show me the next one, please. The name of private developers is scary. And you go behind. Now, listen to enlarge this for me. This is dated July 19, 2021. July 19, 2021. Addressed to the Municipal Chief Executive La, Dadeko Topon Municipal Assembly. Request for variation of certificate of allocation to the Parks and Gardens Department of Parks and Gardens. The allocation I showed you in 1952. Some wise person is asking that we should vary it. Reference is made to your letter, and this variation has not, the allodial owners of the land have not been told anything about it. Amen war. Taflache. Reference is made to your letter numbered so and so, dated June 7, 2021, on the above subject matter, seeking our advice on the way forward with respect to the construction of 5-story office complex for Ministry of Local Government, Decentralization and Rural Development on the Parks and Gardens land at Cantonment, Accra. Upon collation and review of relevant documents and through investigations of the issues involved, we have made the following observations. 1, the ministry has already cleared a site adjacent the office of the Department of Parks and Gardens and unfortunately destroyed about 140 species of trees that we spent money on. This was the initial site meant for the construction of the 5-story office building. 140 species of trees. Today, we say we are spending millions to plant trees. We're just a shameful country. God gave us forests for free for us to go through life. We destroy the forests, we destroy the ones that we are nurturing to plant, and we spend money to plant even more trees and have conversations on climate change. Aren't we special? 2, that the site plan attached to the application for redevelopment for development permit, which is currently before the assembly, is not that of the site which had already been cleared, but rather a new site on the premises of the Department of Parks and Gardens. So they have destroyed 140 species opposite the Parks and Gardens. Now they have come into the Parks and Gardens, and tell you what, Somebody has brought 2 containers from the National Cathedral site and put it there at the Parks and Gardens. I will pause here. Tomorrow, we will get into some more details. I'm just letting you know, and I told you I will be doing an expose on land grabbing with the requisite documents. Tomorrow, I'll read the rest of this thing for you. We will get into it, and we will point out the individuals who are behind it.
Johnny's
The politically exposed individuals who are behind this, who are grabbing land as if there's no tomorrow. And I will tell you why they are not going anywhere else, but they are staying in cantonments. DVLA has been moved. Yes. Parks and Gardens, the way things are going, even without cabinet approval, Parks and Gardens. And if you go onto DVLA's Facebook page, they seem to be throwing shades at their own government. We are going, heaven knows where we are going. We know we will. They are throwing shades because clearly they are protesting. They are not happy. They are disgruntled. Very soon, Lands Commission, they will come for your land. What is the taste in cantonment lands? The taste for cantonment lands, to the extent that even security institutions like the prison service is under siege, is under attack, is under threat. Why? Ni onukpa ametashi na amenwona kenye shikpon akenya. Na chami akpa ingbe gani na afio. Good morning.